Is he just a product of Kyle Shanahan's system, or is Brock Purdy actually good? Will he go down as one of the best quarterbacks in the San Francisco 49ers' all-time history? Some fans are eager to crown him the next legend, while others are cautiously optimistic. But today, we will dive into the story of one of the league's brightest stars. After being the very last pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, Purdy would go on to lead the 49ers on a deep playoff run in his rookie season. We all know how that sadly ended, but his story is much more profound. Brock Purdy was born on December 27, 1999 in Queen Creek, Arizona, the son of Sean and Carrie Purdy. In high school, Purdy attended Perry High School, where he would start as the starting quarterback on the school's varsity team for 3 seasons. In that time, he would throw for 8,932 yards, 107 touchdowns, and 87 interceptions. On the ground, he ran for 2,367 yards and 20 touchdowns. In his senior season, he would throw for 4,410 yards and 57 touchdowns. Along with this, Purdy would prove himself as an elite leader and game manager through his time at Perry. He would lead the school to 2 state playoff runs in 2016 and 2017. However, they would fall short both times of the state title. Despite this, recruiters around the league liked what they saw from the Arizona native. Despite falling short of his ultimate goal in high school of winning a state title, he established himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Arizona in his recruiting class, making him a promising prospect for many schools. ESPN would give him a scouting grade of 78 out of 100, ranking him as the 39th best quarterback in the country, the 95th best player in the region, and the 5th best player in the state of Arizona. However, despite receiving an offer to join Alabama, Purdy would ultimately make the decision to attend Iowa State. When asked about why he made this decision, he was quoted as saying, "Basically every single one of them broke down why they want me, why they need me for the school, community, and just the program in general, and how I could go in there and get things rolling and take the program to the next level." Allegedly, his meeting with Alabama head coach Nick Saban would be the nail in the coffin in the school's chances of signing him. Coach Saban said, "You're below average in height, your arm strength is whatever, your accuracy is average," and as soon as he mentioned the accuracy, Brock knew right away, this guy doesn't know me, because if anything, that's his strength. At Iowa State, he served as the team's starting quarterback in 10 games his freshman year, where he threw for 2,250 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. He would rank in the top 10 of every passing statistic in the Big 12. His freshman season would result in an 8-5 record for the Iowa State Cyclones that would culminate in a narrow loss over 12th-ranked Washington State in the Alamo Bowl. He would follow this promising season up with another strong campaign in his sophomore year. Purdy would start in 13 games that year, throwing for 3,982 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions while completing 65.7% of his passes. The Cyclones would finish the season with a record of 7-6, losing the Camping World Bowl to then 14th-ranked Notre Dame by a final score of 9-33. In his junior year, Purdy would see a slight bit of regression in his stats after his elite individual season in 2019. That would mainly come as a result of the team running the ball more as Breece Hall began to establish himself as one of, if not the best, running back in college football. Despite running a more balanced scheme, Purdy would still throw for 2,750 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. Iowa State would finish the season with a record of 9-3, winning the Fiesta Bowl over the then 25th-ranked Oregon by a final score of 34-17. His final year at Iowa State would be a return to form for Purdy. He threw for 3,188 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions while completing 71.7% of his passes. Brock Purdy would end his college career with a loss against the Clemson Tigers in the Cheez-It Bowl by a final score of 13-20, finishing the year with a record of 7-6. He led the program to 4 winning seasons during his time in Iowa, something that was unusual for the Cyclones. Leading up to the NFL draft, scouts were relatively low on Purdy. NFL.com gave him a prospect ranking of 5.57 out of 10, listing him as a priority undrafted free agent. He was also ranked as the 7th best quarterback in his class in terms of production, 11th in the class for athleticism, which rounded out to an overall score of 68 out of 100, making him the 9th ranked quarterback in the draft. Purdy would be the 9th at the position drafted, with Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Bailey Zapp, Sam Howell, Chris Olajuwon, and Skylar Thompson all being selected in front of him. In fact, Purdy would be the last pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, making him that year's Mr. Irrelevant. Although no one knew it at the time, this pick would end up being franchise-altering for the San Francisco 49ers, and in less than a year, Purdy would be one of the most talked-about quarterbacks in the league. Heading into his rookie season, the expectations were pretty low for Purdy, despite him putting together an admirable career at Iowa State. With him being the last pick in the draft, it was going to be an uphill battle for him, even to make the roster. However, he would go above and beyond and impress the coaching staff, more specifically, head coach and offensive play caller Kyle Shanahan. Interestingly, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Brock's parents made plans well in advance to attend the Week 14 game against the Buccaneers on Sunday to see Tom Brady, believing that Brady's historic career was coming to an end. But they didn't know that there was an added bonus in seeing their son make his very first NFL start against the quarterback they intentionally sought to see play. His performance made his dad emotional in the stands, and that special moment is just the start to a career that has everyone excited to see what's next for Purdy. Due to injuries to both Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance in the 2022 season, Purdy got the chance of a lifetime. He got to start in 5 regular season games. Not only did he start, he played very well. In that time, he quickly adjusted to the game at the professional level and threw for 1,374 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions while completing 67.1% of his passes. Most importantly, he led the 49ers to a 5-0 record. Purdy would continue to carry the hot streak in the postseason, winning the first 2 games. However, he would go down with an injury in the NFC Championship against the Philadelphia Eagles, and the 49ers would lose the game. Despite ending the year on a sour note, fans were all of a sudden hopeful and excited for the following season. The 49ers had a quarterback room full of potential. Brock proved he is fully capable of leading the team and winning. But they still had former first-round pick Trey Lance, whom Brock Purdy was able to make the media and fans quickly forget. The story of Trey Lance is for another video, but Lance was not the man the 49ers thought they were getting when they drafted him 3rd overall in the 2021 NFL Draft. In fact, in hindsight, he's a major bust. Typically when a regime drafts a bust, but worse, trades 3 first-round picks for that bust, that regime gets relieved of duties, aka fired. That's worth mentioning and adds value in answering the question of how good Brock Purdy actually is. Because of Brock Purdy, it's safe to say that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch still have a job. Now, we can't throw Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch under the bus because they did indeed draft Brock and gave him the opportunity to play for a great team that they have assembled. The offense is loaded at each position with top 5 talents. This type of roster is why Purdy has his doubters. But how come Trey Lance was not able to make it work? Is Brock Purdy just a system quarterbacker?
That's pretty ridiculous. You just got to watch the tape. He plays at a high level every time he's been out there. And he's done it in a lot of different situations versus a lot of different defenses. You can't do all that stuff. He's been out there too long. It's on tape.
While Purdy is far from the most talented quarterback in the league from an athletic standpoint, he's precisely what the 49ers need. With offensive weapons in Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle, the only thing that the team needs from the quarterback is to get them the ball accurately and to manage the game. These are 2 things that Purdy excels at. Will he struggle if the 49ers begin to lose some of that talent? Tell us what you think. For the time being, Purdy has quickly proven himself as the most talented quarterback from his draft class. While he still has a ways to go before he can even be in the same breath as former 49ers quarterbacks Steve Young and Joe Montana, he is on the right track to being one of the greats in 49ers history. Thank you for watching the Halftime Show.